Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share 20 foods that I always keep on hand in my fridge, freezer, and pantry. In case you are new here, my name is Marissa. I am a pharmacist and health coach, and I make videos each week sharing healthy recipes, meal ideas, and healthy living inspiration. If you are interested in following along, I would love it if you would click that subscribe button and join me and my community here on YouTube. So I love having certain foods on hand all of the time. These are my kitchen staples, and 3 reasons why I have these kitchen staples is 1, I love eating these particular foods. I love the way that they taste, and I also love the way that they make my body feel. Secondly, this makes grocery shopping easier for me. When I go to the grocery store, I know that I am going to be purchasing these foods on a regular basis and continually restocking them, and it takes some of the decision making off of my thinking list. Also, for me personally, I don't really like making a list on Sunday of all of the different meals that I am going to cook throughout the week. If that is something that you enjoy, by all means, go do you. But I personally find this to be a little bit stressful. So what I prefer to do instead is to have a bunch of staples on hand, and then when I go to make dinner each night, I can look in my kitchen and just see what I have, and then I can get creative and use these foods in all different types of ways in order to prepare all different types of meals and snacks for myself and for my family. Cooking and baking for me is a very creative activity that I absolutely love doing, and I also like to eat very intuitively. So when I am going to make dinner, I very much rely on what I am craving at that moment in order to help me determine what I am going to make. And thirdly, because I use these foods all of the time and I always keep them stocked in my kitchen, I do tend to buy them in bulk, not all of them, but most of them. And this helps me to save money on my groceries, which I think everybody wants to do right now. So those are 3 reasons why I stock certain foods in my kitchen. And now I'm going to share with you what those are, plus a couple of different ways that I like to cook and bake with them. Kitchen staple number 1 is bananas. I love eating bananas. I eat them every single day. Typically what I like to do is I will just slice up like half of one on my oatmeal in the morning. I also love to add these into like my yogurt bowls. You can freeze them as they ripen, and they are great to add into smoothies. You can make banana like nice cream, I think they call it, or ice cream, where you just like have frozen bananas and you blend them up, and it kind of has like a dairy-free ice cream option. That's really fun. Also, something else that you can do is you can bake with these. So I love to have banana bread or banana muffins on hand. You can even make banana pancakes for breakfast in the morning, or have breakfast for dinner or something. So bananas are such a great fruit. They are loaded in lots and lots of healthy nutrients and have so much nutrition, and you will always find these in my kitchen. Kitchen staple number 2 is frozen berries. So for the most part, I have blueberries and strawberries in here. Those are my personal favorites. If you're wondering what these are at the bottom, this is some frozen banana, and then I believe that this is some frozen pumpkin. On a side note, whenever we have like the fall, and well, you know what? I'll save this for later because it's one of my staples, so I'll just wait for later. But yeah, so lots and lots of frozen berries. These are great for smoothies. You can make smoothie bowls. I also love to make frozen yogurt with these. So I'll just take some yogurt and put it in the blender with some frozen berries. And it makes like a nice like thick consistency, and it's so good. It's a nice alternative to ice cream. These are also really good in like, you could bake with them, like banana bread. You could do like lemon blueberry muffins. That's really fun. Also, if you are making like waffles or pancakes, you can put some frozen fruit in the batter and then cook it up. It's so good. Kitchen staple number 3 is fresh broccoli. So broccoli is one of my favorite vegetables, and there are so many different ways that you can cook and eat this. So first and foremost, you can just have it raw, and you can chop it up really like into small bite-sized pieces, and you can have it as a salad. I have a really great recipe on my channel for a broccoli and apple salad, and it's a crowd favorite, and it's a great like spring and summer salad recipe. So you can do that. Another thing that I like to do with this is roast it. So you put some seasonings on it, maybe a little bit of avocado oil, and then roast it in the oven. You can even roast it in the air fryer if you're kind of like more low on time. And that's a really great way to use broccoli as well. You can steam it. Something else that you can do is you can put it in stir fries. You can put it in soups. You could put it in omelets. Something else that not many people do, but it's a really great way to utilize the entire like broccoli crown or head of broccoli here, is that once you get to like the stem, you can actually peel that and then use like the inner stem piece here. And I have found that it's really good in stir fries, or you can just steam it and eat it like as is. And it's a great way to use the full like broccoli here and also prevent food waste. And there's also a lot of great nutrition in the stem as well. Hey you guys, I wanted to take a quick moment to share with you a sneak peek into my cookbook. It's called the Simply Health with Marissa cookbook, Eating to Nourish the Body and Soul. I have always loved to cook. I grew up in my kitchen with a deep appreciation for both food and eating. And a few years ago, I felt so strongly about bringing this love of cooking, food, and eating to all of you. As a pharmacist and integrative nutrition health coach, I know and have seen what can happen to our health when we aren't nourishing ourselves by eating lots and lots of real, whole, nourishing foods. Our body requires nutrients every day in order to stay healthy, provide us with energy, and to help us thrive in our life. But in addition to this, a huge part of healthy eating is also learning to cook and eat foods that are going to provide us with enjoyment, satisfaction, and even love. And when we can balance these two, we are able to promote health and actually enjoy food and eating again. This cookbook shares 23 of my staple recipes that I cook all of the time for myself and for my family, and they nourish both your body and your soul. I hope that you use this cookbook to help make healthy cooking and eating simpler, doable, and also incredibly delicious. There is a link in the description box to order your own copy today. Kitchen staple number 4 is mushrooms. So I typically buy the whole baby bella mushrooms, and I love to either like saute these or roast them. They taste so good just on their own, but you can also add them into soups, into stews, casseroles. You can use them to make a gravy. That's another really great way to utilize mushrooms, is to make a mushroom gravy, and it tastes so, so good. One of my favorites is a mushroom marsala gravy. Marsala is like a cooking wine, like a Sicilian cooking wine, and it makes the best gravy, you guys, and it's very affordable. I'm sure I'm not buying like the top quality marsala or whatever, but whatever it is that I get, it's affordable and it tastes delicious, and I'm just gonna go with it. So, but yeah, also something you can do is like remove the stem, and you can like stuff these and make stuffed mushrooms, and that's a really fun appetizer and stuff like that. So lots of fun ways that you can utilize mushrooms. Kitchen staple number 5 is potatoes. So I typically always keep sweet potatoes and baking potatoes on hand. Occasionally I will get like red skin potatoes or gold potatoes or purple potatoes, but I typically just keep the sweet potatoes and the baking potatoes on hand. And there's so many things you can do with potatoes, and I'll share with you a couple of my favorites, but they're very versatile vegetable, and they're also very satiating and satisfying. So with the sweet potatoes, what I love to do with these is make sweet potato fries, and I'll just have that as a side dish to dinner. Something else I love to do is roast these and put them on salads. My favorite lettuce to pair them with is kale. Another way that I like to use sweet potatoes is in my baked goods. So you can boil them up until they're fork tender, and then you can mash them, and you can use them in like a pie. You could make like a breakfast cookie with them. You can make like a sweet potato bread, kind of like a banana bread, but with sweet potato. So there's a lot of different ways that I love to use sweet potatoes, and they are so, so good. Great source of vitamin A. And then with these potatoes, what I like to do with these is I can make potato pancakes. I can use them and just like make like French fries at home, like roasted in the oven or in the air fryer. I love to make mashed potatoes. I'm trying to think of what else I do with these things. Oh, like a potato leek soup. That's really fun. Add them into soups. I'll also add sweet potatoes into soups as well. You can do casseroles, shepherd's pie, lots of fun options. Kitchen staple number 6 is avocados. So I used to never like avocados, which may come as a surprise because so many people absolutely love avocados, but I used to never really like them. And because they are so nutritious, I really wanted to start liking them, and so I started trying to figure out like different ways to use them in different meals, and I slowly like became like, okay, it's not too bad. And now after eating them for so long, I absolutely love them, and they have definitely become a kitchen staple for me. So probably the most frequently way that I use avocados is to make avocado toast. I love avocado toast. It's so good. It's filling, and you can pair it with so many different things, and you can get like kind of creative with like how you make it. One of my favorite like very simple ways is just to use like the avocado on multigrain bread, and then use like the everything but the bagel sesame seasoning blend, and that is a really fun option. You can pair it with feta cheese, pumpkin seeds. There's just so many different ways that you can make avocado toast. You can even use it with breakfast and pair it with eggs. You can add it on top of burgers. You can put it in wraps. Something else that I have recently been doing is actually adding them into my baked goods, and it's kind of like a oil replacement in recipes. So I make these like fudgy like chocolate brownies with avocado. I also make a double chocolate chip cookie using avocado. I have a banana bread recipe using avocado, a pumpkin bread recipe using avocado. So lots of different like baked goods with that. Also, something else you can do is you can like cut it up into little chunks, and you can freeze that, and then you can add it into smoothies, and it's a great way to add more fat into your smoothie, make it more filling, and help like stabilize like blood sugar, because a lot of times when you are making a smoothie, it has a lot of fruit in it, and that's just a lot. I mean, I know that there's fiber in there, but it is a lot of sugar, like natural sugar, but still, it could be just a lot for your body. And so when you're adding a little bit of fat in there, it can help to stabilize your blood sugar levels. Something else that I like to do is make like a chocolate mousse with avocado, especially when they're like nice and ripe. They have like a very like nice creamy like consistency, and you can put that with a little bit of like maple syrup and some cocoa powder, and you can like mix it up, and you have like a nice healthy chocolate mousse, and it's so, so good. Kitchen staple number 7 is onions and garlic. So I love to get these like sweet onions, and then I also like to have on hand red onion, but I definitely do tend to gravitate more towards the sweet onions and use them the most. But with the sweet onions, I will use them in practically like all of my dinner recipes. I think it just is a great base, and it adds so much flavor into your dishes. So whenever I am making a stir fry or a gravy, I will go ahead and chop up onion and saute that like first thing. You can also like chop these up and roast them. That's really good. And then when it comes to the red onion, I like to saute these or roast them as well, but I also love to eat these just like raw, just like thinly slice them and put it in like salads or sandwiches, subs, wraps, anything like that. I think is just so good. And then with the garlic, I love the way that it tastes. It's very, very good for you. And this like tub right here has spoiled me because I don't have to chop it anymore. I do like to chop garlic, but I'm telling you guys, like this is such like an easy shortcut, and it just helps me out, and I really, really like it. And it's a great way to buy a tremendous amount of garlic, and it doesn't go bad, which I like. The only thing I will say is I do like buy one that is just submerged in water and not oil. I feel like a lot of them are submerged in oil, and I don't really love that unless it's like an extra virgin olive oil, because usually they're submerged in some sort of a like vegetable seed oil, and those can be pro-inflammatory for your body. They could be oxidized and create inflammation and stuff. So I personally try to avoid that, and I prefer it with water, but if I can't find that, I will go with like a extra virgin olive oil or something like that. But yeah, so this right here is just an organic minced garlic with water and citric acid, which I'm sure has helped preserve it. But yeah, I just add a little scoop of this in with the onion, and it is a great base for lots and lots of recipes. Also, I forgot, I wanted to say that this is also a great way to make like a infused like olive oil. So if I ever want to make like a garlic infused olive oil, I will go ahead and use this for that. You can make garlic bread. You can use this in like salads and like different types of dressings. So a lot of different ways that you can use garlic. And if you are somebody who's like afraid to use a lot of garlic because of like your breath, pair it with like some fresh herbs like fresh parsley, and that can help you out with that. Kitchen staple number 8 is yogurt. So I love yogurt. I eat it all the time. It's my favorite fermented food, and fermented foods are great to help support your gut health because you are replenishing and introducing healthy probiotic bacteria into your gut, and those bacteria have so many health benefits for our entire body, and it's very important to regularly consume fermented foods. There are other fermented foods like sauerkraut and kefir and kimchi, miso, kombucha, stuff like that, but I will say that yogurt is my favorite, and it's the one that I always stock in my kitchen. My favorite brand of yogurt to buy is this Siggi's yogurt. I did make yogurt like once or twice, and it was good, but it was a little bit on like the thinner side, and I like a really thick yogurt, so maybe I just need to like play around with the recipe a little bit more. But I did have my neighbor show me how to make it, and it was a pretty cool process. But it was just, I don't know, it's just so convenient to buy it, and maybe one day I'll make it more consistently, but as of right now, I do like to purchase it. Siggi's is my favorite brand. I really love like a thick yogurt, and they do carry like those like individual like cups with different flavors in there, and those are good, but I find that since I eat so much yogurt, I do want to like purchase it more in bulk. It's a lot cheaper for me. And so what I like to do is I like to buy the plain yogurt. This is also a 0% milk fat. I'm not like against milk fat. I just grew up eating 0% milk fat, and my digestion is more comfortable with that, you know, and how I am able to digest the food. But if you like to have milk fat, I'm not like against that or anything like that. But anyways, I got plain yogurt. The reason I like the plain is because, one, I can sweeten it myself. So I typically like to use a natural sweetener like honey or pure maple syrup when I am sweetening my foods instead of using like regular sugar. And so I'm able to do that when I get the plain yogurt because the only thing in here is pasteurized skim milk and live active cultures. So yeah, so there we go. I also like that this one has 5 different live active cultures in here. When you're looking at yogurt, sometimes they have like 1 or 2. And when it comes to our gut microbiome or our gut microbiota, we really do want to have like a nice diverse group of gut microbes, and not just like 1 or 2. So I do try to like, I do like the fact that this has multiple strains and not just like 1 or 2. I also like to use yogurt to make smoothies and frozen yogurt bowls. I can flavor it however I want, so I can put in some vanilla extract and have vanilla flavored yogurt. I can blend up some strawberries and have strawberry yogurt. I could put peaches in here, blueberry. I can really customize it to whatever it is that I am craving in that moment. And I'm a big intuitive eater, so I do like to just like kind of listen to my body and see what it is that I'm craving in that moment and then go from there. So I have a lot more like flexibility by buying the plain yogurt. Additionally, I love to bake with yogurt, and that's another benefit of getting it plain so that I can use it in different baked goods. So a lot of times you'll see like yogurt added into like a muffin recipe or like pancakes or like a banana bread, just depending on like what recipe you're following. Sometimes they have yogurt in there. And so for me, instead of having to buy like a lot of different like little individual cups, I just have this here and I can use it in all different types of ways. Kitchen staple number 9 is frozen chicken breasts. So I buy this huge bag from Costco, and these are like thin sliced, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And they are like frozen individually, which I really like, and it makes it super easy and convenient to just like pull out 1 or 2 whenever I want to make something with chicken. I do eat a lot of chicken. It's one of my main forms of protein in my diet. I like to saute it and add it with my everyday like salad that I eat at lunchtime, or I will like saute it and eat it at dinner time. You can kind of bread it in a little bit of like whole wheat flour or all-purpose flour or something, and you can like saute it and taste really good. I used to always just use the all-purpose flour, but I recently switched over to just using whole wheat flour, and it tastes just as good, and I'm happy with that. So that's what I do now. So I like to do that. You can put them in the air fryer, you can roast them, you can make all different types of chicken dishes, chicken marsala, you can do barbecue chicken, you can do chicken teriyaki, you can do stir fries, you can put them on salads, in wraps, chicken sandwiches. Again, so many different ways that you can use chicken, and those are some of my absolute favorites that I make all of the time. And again, I do like that they're like frozen individually. It just makes it really convenient for me. And then also, there's not like a lot of like fat or anything that needs to be like cut off. They do like process it pretty well, and it just makes it more convenient for me and less work that I have to do, which is nice. And I also wanted to say that this particular chicken that I get from the freezer section in Costco, it's so tender and it's so good. So it's just a good like quality chicken that I like. And there we go. So yeah, kitchen staple number 9. Kitchen staple number 10 is walnuts. So I love walnuts. I use them in so many different recipes, and because of that, I like to buy them raw. So the only thing in here is walnuts. There's no oils, there is no sweeteners, there's no salt, there's nothing like that. And this way it gives me a lot of flexibility as to how I like to cook and bake with them. So these are really great in banana nut muffins. You can make breakfast cookies, banana nut bread. You can top these on like pancakes or waffles, French toast if you wanted to. I love to use these when I'm making homemade granola. And then also like I can just, season them and put a little bit of oil and like roast them myself, and that I have like a nice like savory snack nut as well that I can snack on. So lots of different ways that you can use these. They're also really great on like salads. You can pair them with chicken. So those are some of my favorite ways to use walnuts. Kitchen staple number 11 is raisins. So I love this dried fruit. You can use it in a lot of different ways. Mostly I will bake with these. So I love to add them into my pumpkin raisin chocolate chip cookies that are featured in my cookbook. I also love to put these in like oatmeal raisin cookies, breakfast cookies. They're also good on salads. You can put them in trail mixes or even in like cereals. That's really fun too. Kitchen staple number 12 is peanut butter. Peanut butter is my favorite nut butter. It's so good. I love the way that it tastes, and I use it all the time in so many different ways. So I love to top my oatmeal in the morning with this. I like to top yogurt bowls with it. I like to add it into smoothies. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are always a favorite. Another thing that you can do is you can use them in baked goods. So you can actually make your own like peanut butter cups and like recreate like a Reese's peanut butter cup. And I have a recipe video on my channel like showing you guys how to do that. So it's super easy. And I think it tastes so much better because it's like really fresh. So I like that. I also like to use it to make peanut butter cookies. And it's also nice to have just like with some apple slices for a snack. Kitchen staple number 13 is quick cooking oats. I prefer to buy these over the old-fashioned oats just because I find them easier to chew, and pretty much that reason alone. But yeah, so I like to use these for granola. I like to use these to make oatmeal. I usually buy oat flour just because it saves me a step, and I do like how like unbelievably fine it is when you just buy oat flour as oat flour. But if you didn't want to buy it, you could just grind these up in a food processor and you can make your own oat flour, and you can use that in a lot of baked goods or pancake recipes or something like that. You can make energy bites with these for a fun snack. I use these a lot when I'm making cookies, and you can also use it as a breadcrumb replacement. If you are trying to kind of stay away from breadcrumbs, or you just like run out and you need something like right then and there, then you can actually use these in place of breadcrumbs. So I've used these to make meatballs and burgers, and it is like a nice like breadcrumb replacement. I don't like only use these instead of breadcrumb, but if I'm like needing them like in a pinch, they work really well. Kitchen staple number 14 is whole wheat flour. I prefer whole wheat flour to all-purpose flour just because the whole grain is intact and there is more fiber present. So I prefer that, and it's going to be a lot healthier for like healthy blood sugar balance. And then this is the flour that I primarily use along with oat flour when I am doing any type of baked good. So, you know, any type like cookie, breakfast cookie, banana bread. I keep saying banana bread, but I make banana bread so many times. Pancakes, waffles, all that kind of stuff. Whole wheat flour is a great thing to have on hand. I will also use this to bread like chicken in and then saute it. So I like to have it for that reason as well. And something else that I really want to get into this year is making my own bread. And so I will be using flour for that as well. I am kind of toying around with either just using like store-bought flour or just getting like a grain mill and getting the wheat berry and grinding it myself. But I haven't completely decided what I'm going to do yet. If that's something that you guys do and you have some advice or something, let me know. I would love to hear about it. So just comment below. Kitchen staple number 15 is avocado oil. So this is a very good like all-purpose oil, and it's not a vegetable seed oil, and it's high in omega-3 fatty acids, which is a healthy fat that we do need to regularly consume. And what I like about this is that it has a very high smoke point, so it's not going to oxidize under like or at high heat. And that's important because a lot of oils tend to like oxidize at high heat, and that can be pro-inflammatory for our body, and that's something that we do want to try to avoid. Avocado oil does not really have like a flavor, so it's really good in pretty much all recipes, and you can use this when you are roasting, when you're sauteing, when you're frying. You can use this like when you're using the air fryer. You can use this in any type of like baked good recipe, because again, it doesn't really have like much of a flavor. And I like to buy this in bulk, and I get it from Costco, and I find it's the most affordable way to purchase it. Kitchen staple number 16 is dried spices, and I took out the ones that I use the most frequently, and there is kind of a lot, so I'm just gonna like group them all together here for this kitchen staple. So I guess I'll just pick them up and briefly share how I like to use them. So what I have here is garlic powder and onion powder. I use these all the time to season meats and vegetables, especially like when I'm roasting or something like that, or sauteing. So I have these two here, and then I also have paprika. I love to use this on vegetables, or if I'm making like a mac and cheese or something, I'll use like paprika in there. The next thing that I have is some Italian spices. So I've got oregano. Is probably my most used and one of my favorite herbs. I just love the taste. I will use this when I am making pretty much anything Italian. So tomato sauce on top of pizza, on chicken, pasta. I use it all the time. I also have dried parsley. I have dried basil. I have some thyme leaves. I prefer thyme leaves to thyme ground, but that's just my personal preference. And I also have some bay leaves. This here in tomato sauce like makes tomato sauce. So I always keep that on hand. And then I use those spices also to make my Italian salad dressing. And then I also have celery salt that I use in that Italian salad dressing as well. I have a recipe video on how I do that, so I will link it up above for you guys. And then I also wanted to mention that I have the Everything But the Bagel Sesame Seasoning Blend, and I use this all the time whenever I am eating avocados. And then I also I also keep on hand cumin and some chili powder, great for chilies, chicken tortilla soups, and gosh, why am I blanking? Tacos, okay. And lastly is some cinnamon. I use this in pretty much all my baked goods and also on my everyday oatmeal. And then I, of course, always have some salt and pepper on hand, and I wanted to just share what pepper I like to use. I really taste a difference between already ground pepper and then pepper that you like freshly grind yourself. So I prefer to freshly grind it myself. And I just buy these whole black peppercorns in this big container that I get from Costco, and then I add it into my pepper shaker, and then I just go ahead and have freshly ground black pepper in all of my recipes that I use this in. Kitchen staple number 17 is chicken broth. So I like to use this to help me make gravies, soups, stews, even casseroles. It's just very convenient, and it has like the little like screw knob here on top, so I can just use as much as I want at a time, and then I just like store it in the refrigerator until I'm ready to use it again. Kitchen staple number 18 is bread. And the type of bread that I buy kind of like differs depending on the week, and also if I see anything that's like on sale. It's really crazy at how expensive bread is these days. So I just do what I can, and there we go. This right here I have been really loving, and I get it from the Kroger bakery section, and it says signature multigrain loaf, 9 seeds and grains, and it tastes so good, especially when you toast it. And I use this to make like avocado toast. I'll put some grass-fed butter on here. You can have like a sandwich. You can have like put it with eggs, peanut butter and jelly, lots of different ways to use this, and it tastes so good. One day, you guys, I do want to get to making my own bread, but I just haven't figured that out yet. And until that day comes, I'm still buying bread, but I do love like a slice of bread in the day. It feels like the day is not complete unless I've had a slice of bread. So there you go. Kitchen staple number 19 is pumpkin puree. So I know a lot of people are probably like, why are you always stocking this in your pantry? I know a lot of people will probably just use this around the fall and like winter months. But you guys, I love pumpkin so much that I eat it all year round, and it's so good. I tend to stock up on it in the fall just because that's usually when it's more affordable, and then I just use it all throughout the year. Something else that I like to do is I will, like when you buy pumpkins and then you like decorate your house with, like for, you know, in October, and around Halloween, is instead of like carving them, I usually just like leave them out, let them be decor during the season. And then once October is gone and past and we're in like November, I usually will just go ahead and like roast it and make my own homemade pumpkin puree. It is a labor of love. It does take some time, and it's not like the easiest like thing, especially if you buy like pretty big pumpkins. But that being said, it is a huge way to affordably stock your kitchen with pumpkin puree. And I have pumpkin puree like still in my freezer, that like I just go ahead and like pre-measure out, put them in a Ziploc bag, and then put them in the freezer, and then I can make pumpkin muffins, pumpkin pancakes, pumpkin yogurt, pumpkin bread. My favorite way to use it, and the way that I use it the most frequently, is to make my pumpkin raisin chocolate chip cookies. That recipe is featured in my cookbook, and I make them every single week. So I'm using pumpkin the majority of the majority of the time for that reason. But you can also make like pumpkin pie. You can make a pumpkin mac and cheese, pumpkin soup. So I love pumpkin and I use it all the time. And the last kitchen staple for today's video is kind of a combined staple, and that is honey and pure maple syrup. I am combining these two in this kitchen staple because I pretty much use them interchangeably in any recipe that I want to naturally sweeten. So I don't really have like sugar, like regular table sugar in my house. I don't stock it. I never really turn to it. And I find that just using honey or pure maple syrup is like sufficient, and it's a great alternative, and it works pretty much the exact same way, and I think it tastes so much better. Plus you can use it in a 1-to-1 ratio in your baked goods. So I highly recommend that you next time you go to bake something or cook something, like flavor it with one of these, and you're not gonna even miss the sugar. Plus these are more nutrient dense compared to table sugar, and you're actually going to be giving your body some lovely health benefits when you go ahead and consume these. So I use these whenever I want to sweeten something. So yogurt, smoothies, oatmeal, pancakes, waffles, any type of baked good, cookie, anything like that, I am turning to one of these for that. I will say though, for whenever I make granola, I do prefer the pure maple syrup compared to the honey. I just find it's easier to chew. But that's just like a personal preference, but you could totally use honey in order to make that. So those are 20 food staples that I always keep on hand in my kitchen. I do have more foods that I also consider to be my kitchen staples, but I didn't want to make this video too long. So I can definitely make a part 2 to this video. Let me know if you would like to see that by commenting down below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that this video inspired you to get into your kitchen and cook up some delicious, nourishing meals. Be sure to keep watching if you would like to see what I like to eat in a day, and also one of my favorite weeknight dinner meals. I will see you over there. Bye.